Hi everyone, I am back. I would like to apologize for how long I have actually been away. Um, so I finally completed upgrades to my computer, so I'll go ahead and talk about that first. Got a number of things I want to talk about. So, I had, hold on, just one second. So, I ran into a bit of an issue with PC laptops, as I may or may not have said in my last video that they told me, oh, your GTX 260 is running up in the lines of our MSI GTX 980s. Bullshit. You do less than of those two, you can run 4K. I'm sorry, but I couldn't even play Star Wars The Old Republic on medium settings without my game crashing with that graphics card. And then when I got Elder Scrolls Online, that thing was screaming like a banshee. Even on its lowest settings, it still had a lot of latency. So I went and got a second opinion. I cleared up my hard drive space after I got a Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte hard drive, and that helped a little bit, not too much. So I ended up getting, if I can get over here without knocking shit over. So I ended up getting this. Zotac GT 730 Zone Edition, passive cooling. It's not the most powerful by any means, but it's able to handle my games much more smoothly. This is kind of angled a little funny. I just made that worse. Sorry, guys. Oh my hell. Let's do that. That's probably as best as I'm gonna get it. Anyway, so but after I talked with them about the GPU, because I kind of figured they're trying to get me to spend more money. $500 for a GTX 960 EVGA, which you can actually go to Best Buy and pick up for under $300. I think it was like $219 for it, maybe less. So they were telling me, oh, your biggest issue is going to be your processor. At the time, I was running a quad-core Phenom from AMD, the 9550, and I kind of figured I needed to upgrade a little bit. And so again, this is where I talked to my neighbor, and he said processor will help, storage, new graphics card. It was a combination of things, but PC laptop it seemed like my only issue was with the CPU, and so I ended up getting the FX 8320E from AMD. It is an 8-core. Now this is the Black Edition, so it comes unlocked out of the box, so you can actually overclock it to 4 gigahertz. And its normal, its base is 3.2. So they're telling me that my old motherboard would fit this. This is an AM3 plus socket. My motherboard was a Pegatron motherboard, AM2 plus, so it wouldn't have fit. And I only realized this after I got thinking about it because I ran into some complications trying to upgrade and get things working properly. And by the time I figured it out, it was already too late to send the CPU back, so I had to go and buy a new motherboard. And the motherboard I ended up getting was the Asus M5A 78L LX Plus. It says right here it's a ATX, but it's actually a mini ATX. And sadly enough, it's only got 2 slots for RAM, and it can only handle up to 16 gigs of RAM, so I can have 8 sticks in each, or 8 gigs in each slot. Right now I'm only running 8 gigs of DDR3, and it's working fine. Um, and this wasn't the issue I ran into. This actually kind of made me more angry than the whole deal with PC laptops. Is the kid that sold me this computer to begin with didn't bother to put a product key anywhere on my tower or in it. And when I asked him if he had it, he said, no, I lost it a long time ago. And I said, okay, whatever. But deep down inside, I was thinking, why? People still use Windows 7, Windows 7 Pro, Windows 7 Ultimate. It's still very much in use, more so than Windows 8, believe it or not. It just made me really mad. I mean, my dad, for God's sakes, has product keys going back to Windows 98. Hello, it's kind of an important thing to keep, regardless if you think you're going to use it or not. And so, my neighbor, we found this website that supported through Microsoft. And basically, you're able to get a new unique product key for $10 and whatnot. But for whatever reason, they took the site down, and when I called them about that, they said, oh, you need to talk to tech support, and to talk to them, you need to pay us $40. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I pay them $40 just to talk to them, and then have to pay even more money to get the product key? Oh, fuck you guys. And, you know, after doing some more research, you know, the website, Microsoft's website had links for this sort of thing, but they kept circling back to Microsoft's main page. They didn't go anywhere. And finally my neighbor said, you know what? You're going to have to buy a new OS, and considering that Windows 8.1 is the same price as Windows 7 Pro, you might as well get that. It'll make things a bit easier for you to upgrade to Windows 10, so that's what I did. I had to get it. I'm not too proud of it. There are a lot of things about it I still don't like. There are some features about it I do like when you're on the retro interface, you could just start typing, and it'll bring up a search option. And I found that to be kind of my best friend with Windows 8 because they changed a lot of things. It took me about a day and a half to figure out how to change the fucking resolution, which kind of made me a little bit mad. It was a scroll bar. I didn't realize it was a scroll bar. Just make it optional points rather than a fucking scroll bar. Thank you. Because I didn't know what that was. When I hovered over it, when I first saw it, it was just saying what my resolution was. I'd click on it, see if it would bring something else up so I could change it, and it kind of jumped to that point, but then it'd go right back. No matter what I did, it was just really annoying. But in the end, I got everything all figured out. It was a long-ass journey, and I learned a lesson that I think I'll apply when I go to build a computer. I'm going to build it from the ground up, get a new case, get some new gear. I'm not even going to bother trying to upgrade this computer anymore. It's the Antec 900 case, and I really like this case because it's really good for airflow. It's got 5 fans. It's got a big one at the top for the exhaust. It's like about this big. I'm pretty sure it's 140 mil, but I could be wrong. It doesn't have anything out of the way for cable management. So, like with a lot of cases, when you pull off both panels, you have those little rubber grommets inside of the wall that you can shove your cables through and make the inside of your case look nice and less cluttered. This doesn't have that. In fact, there's only about that much space between the wall and the panel, and it's not enough to get anything through, even if you were to drill holes. It's just not enough. The case would bulge. So, yeah, it was definitely something. I'm definitely hoping later this year to upgrade my GPU to maybe a GTX 970 or 980. Hell, if prices are low enough for the holiday season, I may end up getting a Titan. I would love to get the Titan X. But if not, I can handle a GTX 980. Later, throughout the rest of the year, I will be getting new parts. I'm going to be building a whole new computer. But suffice to say, it's enough to do what I needed to do. The only thing is my internet download speeds, which I find funny. We're paying almost $70 a CenturyLink, and we're getting, our average is roughly around 6 megabytes download, and we're supposed to be getting closer to 20. I'm sorry, but we're not paying you guys $70 fucking for such shitty speeds. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. So we found another company to go with. No, it's not Comcast. I will never deal with Comcast. So yeah, and I've been playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm able to play everything on high settings. I'm able to play Elder Scrolls Online with a combination of medium and high settings at 1080p. Butter smooth. It looks so good. This is probably the best I've ever seen it play. I don't get on it too much because I am actually working on a new character for Star Wars, and I'm more interested in that storyline, to be honest. I love Elder Scrolls, but I'm more of a Star Wars person. I can't help that. Moving on from that, there was something I saw earlier, moving into the consoles. Tomorrow, PSN is going to go down for about 9.5 hours for maintenance. Now, this kind of tells me that they're not just going to be doing maintenance, they're probably going to be either adding or taking stuff out to maybe enhance the user's experience a little bit. And when I was scrolling through the comments, almost every single last one of them were, oh, PSN's putting us through more shit? Great. That's a little ignorant to say, considering that Xbox is also well known for doing the same thing. Let me put it to you simply. There is only, besides the games and the control paddles, only one main difference between the Xbox One and the PS4, and that would be the processors. Just one of the Jaguar AMDs out of the PS4 is already better than a single AMD processor, whichever. I don't remember which one that is. I'd have to look at it again. It's already, I do know for a fact it's better than what Xbox One has. Given that PS4 has two of them, it's going to have better processing abilities. That's why PlayStation Network is able to load faster than the Xbox One. Or Xbox Live, sorry, whoops. All of them, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, yeah, they're going to put everyone through their ringers. Here's the thing that people need to realize is that at least Sony didn't try to stonewall us or strong-arm us into, you have to have internet, or you have to check in every 24 hours, or if you want to play offline, get the PS3. And if you're wondering where this is coming from, when they unveiled Xbox One at the E3 back in 2013, after the conference, there were reports asking Don some questions, and that was what he said is, in reference to people out in Virginia who don't have very good connectivity. Oh, well, if you don't have good connectivity or internet at all, get the Xbox 360 because that's the offline console. It was that comment that basically pissed off a lot of their fan base. I mean, it pissed off even some of my friends that I never thought would ever say anything bad about Xbox. They went and got themselves a PS4. I never thought I'd ever live to see that day. Yeah, it's just, it was bad, and they realized they fucked up, and they did a lot to fix it, and I commend them for that, I really do. But they'll never convince me to buy an Xbox One for a couple of reasons. One, the games. None of their exclusives hold any kind of interest for me at all. I'm not interested in them. Alright? Two, I don't have the fucking room to put one anyways. Alright? And three, it was E3 conference. Yeah, Xbox One, you don't have to be connected to the internet all the time. You don't have to check in every 24 hours. You can buy an Xbox One without the Kinect. Now that is no longer required. Sure, sorry, the damage was done. And right now, until the new Xbox comes out, they they're not going to really recover from that very well. And even when the new one comes out for the 4K versions of the new consoles, I have to wonder how well they're going to sell. You know, I always tell my friends that have Xbox, I'm going, if it's a shared game between the consoles and or the PC, I'm most likely going to get it for PlayStation 4 in my computer. Alright? Biggest thing is my PS. It's well known that PS4 can install and download things a lot faster than Xbox One. That's because of its processors. They're not trying to download the game from the website. They're downloading the data directly off of the disk. That's what Xbox One doesn't do. Is they basically kind of what they this is part of the DRM here. It recognizes that you have the disk and then they download the game from their store, which, in hindsight, if you have good internet speeds, should honestly be pretty fast. But for whatever reason, it's not. If you were to disconnect from the internet and just download it off the disk, you got it. It's fast. There are definite loopholes around it. Now, this doesn't mean I hate Xbox players or anything like that. No, each to their own. I used to have a 360 myself. I got rid of it because my account got screwed up. Big time. And I was just tired of the shenanigans. Alright? They have something similar to the PlayStation Plus in terms of what you get each month, but they're just the EA games, from what I can tell. Like a lot of sports games that you can go and pick up at GameStop for like 50 cents a game. Well, yeah, you're getting a free game. It's not really free considering I can pay $1 for it. It's I don't like that. At least they're trying. I'll give them that. They're trying, but they're gonna have to work much harder. And yeah. So back to what I said. If you're gonna be ignorant and saying, "Oh, PSN's always getting us shit," you also need to start looking at Xbox too because they give people more shit than PlayStation does. Believe me. All right. I had Xbox most of my life. And before Xbox, I was PlayStation. That was the first console I ever played on was PS1. Alright, and then of course I played on the 64 because I have a few friends who had them, whatever. But you kind of get my meaning there is Xbox hasn't always been there to support its players. They're taking more of the stance that they just want to get more money out of players than actually build a good console that players will enjoy. Now that doesn't mean that not everybody hates Xbox One. I have a few friends that really do enjoy it. Good for them. I mean, as long as they enjoy it, fine. I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, PlayStation, they have done some questionable things in the past, yes. However, there's no denying the fact that they built this console for players, designed by players, the games. That's the biggest reason why I have a PS4. It's not because I'm a fanboy or anything like that. No, I bought it because of the games, the exclusives. I care more about games that are single player that have a good storyline to it. They're not having to pay microtransactions for map packs and stuff like that. I don't get that at all. Why pay $20 for a couple extra maps to play on so you can kill your buddies? That really doesn't make any kind of sense to me at all. It just kind of makes me question the vanity of people. It really does. And that is why I don't play Destiny anymore. Why I haven't played it in... Oh, I haven't played it since December, now that I think about it. And it's because of that. Neither of the new expansions that they released have any new additions to the storyline. You're just getting a new raid, new equipment, which honestly, when you look at the guns, they're exactly the same guns you can go and buy in the store, just with different skins on them and different names. That's all they are. So there's nothing new there. You get a couple of new maps to play on, but they're $20 each to unlock content already on your disc. I'm sorry, but am I the only one that has a problem with that? When they released The Darkness Below is when Shadow of Revan came out for Star Wars The Old Republic. It was the same price. And I got that because, one, it adds a whole new storyline to it that takes a minimum of 10 hours to beat. You get a couple of new planets. You get a load of new, unique gear. It's not refurbished or anything like that. It is completely new for $20. You essentially are buying a new game with that. With that storyline in mind, you're buying basically a whole new game for $20. Whereas with Destiny and Call of Duty, you're paying $20 for map packs. I know it's not my money, but again, I almost beg people to kind of step back and think about that for a moment. This is how Call of Duty makes their money. Why their games are so shitty. Because people are stupid enough to buy their map packs for $20. Those map packs, they don't take a whole lot of work to design and get functioning. It really doesn't take a whole lot of work if you know what you're doing. Alright? And the money that goes into it, yeah, you're maybe putting a couple bucks into it. At most, they should be selling them, if they still want to do microtransactions, $2 or $3 for the whole thing. Because you're only getting a couple of weapons that may or may not be good, some extra skins, and a couple extra map packs. It has nothing to do with the story. You know, but, I rest my case with that. Anyway, so, again, I don't tolerate fanboy comments, because I see the light on both sides. Xbox One, it has some neat features on it. The biggest thing I don't care for is the fact that it's Windows 8 retro interface. I think whoever thought that was a good idea was an idiot. But that's just my personal opinion. I definitely believe the Xbox One has potential. And I hope that Microsoft does something about that. Because the Xbox One can definitely be a hell of a lot more than it is now. And, there are things about PS4 I don't necessarily... What's the word? I won't say like, because almost everything about PS4 I do like. But, again, the PS4 has the exact same graphics card that the Xbox One has. Alright? They're both running the same amount of RAM. I don't remember if it was DDR2 or DDR3. I think it might be DDR3. And I can't remember if it was 8 gigs or 16. I'm pretty sure it was 8. The only differences are the games and the fact that PS4 has a better processor. That's really it. So at this point, it's up to the consumer to decide, okay, so do I want these types of games or those types of games? PlayStation or Xbox? It's really up to you to decide that, because the console, they're exactly the same. That's it. Yeah. So, if anyone's interested, go ahead and find me on Star Wars, The Old Republic. I kind of think of. I guess in the description of this video, I could go ahead and put my name down on there. But I'll only add me as a friend, or you can search for my guild. I mainly play as a Sith. I do have a Jedi, but I haven't done anything with him at all. I just kind of made him, and that was that. I didn't even do the story yet. Oh yeah, and a couple other things. I did get the Razor Black Widow Ultimates, and to say the least, I really, really like it. So, and mainly because of the green lights. I don't know what it is. I like black and green. Yeah. And also, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that clickety click. I just love it. It's so satisfying. Anyway, a little off topic. That's all I have to say, and I will talk to you guys later.